And that's the thing, it's just like, you know, you need to jump in the water without not knowing how to swim. You know, trust me, you're not gonna drown. I guarantee you're not gonna drown. You have something, go. Do it now, start now. Don't talk about it, do it now, start now. You know, I was born in San Juan, Puerto Rico, moved to Chicago when I was 15. Growing up, I always wanted to be a chef. Like, that was my dream job, to be a chef. So I went to college, I took class in culinary arts. I realized that, you know, it was not, I'm gonna work in a restaurant, become a chef, you know. For me to become a chef, I would have to put a lot of time, a lot of years experience before I made it to the chef position. I had my first child. Right after I had my first child, I bought my first camera. I started taking pictures of my kids, you know, as a hobby. From there, I started taking pictures of friends and family. They started calling me, you know what, Chris, can you do a picture of my kids and stuff like that? Then I took that as a challenge, and then I'm like, you know what, if I take a picture of my daughter, I could take a picture of anybody else, you know? And I think I was charging $5, $10. Those pictures was bad. Like, I look at the pictures now, it's just like a kid throwing a basket. The exposure was bad. The color balance was horrible, yellow, pink, whatever. But I never stopped, you know? I was like, man, I like this. That was in the beginning of Facebook, and social media was like coming up. So people started sharing, liking, commenting. And I'm like, man, this is something that I wanted to do. Then I decided learning more on the photography, started pretty much digging into YouTube, looking at videos, learning, you know, how to use a camera. Since then, I just been a photographer now. When I finally caught into the art of photography, I say to myself, like, man, you know, what can I do to make it to that level, you know? Like, I see people just giving me amazing feedback, the fact that I'm photographing the family member and stuff like that, but what can I do to take it to a next level, you know? So I started listening to a lot of motivation speakers, you know, a lot of people, not more in the photography industry, but more just like how to become an entrepreneur. So I realized that if I take the job serious as to become a photographer, that I was gonna be able to become my own boss, you know? At that time, I was working in a hospital for 15 years, you know, and you know, me going to work, having a boss, you know, time to request time off. At this time, I already have 2 kids. So, you know, I figured that, okay, if I could do something that I could become my own boss, you know, why not doing it, you know? And that's one of the things that I told a lot of people. Like, there is not better feeling than being your own boss, you know? So one of the things that I was saying to myself is like, man, you know what? I'm never gonna work for nobody else, you know? I'm gonna become a photographer, and I'm gonna take whatever step I can to make it to be an amazing photographer. And I always have this attitude, like, I am better than everybody. It's not, but you need to feel like that. You need to feel like you are better than anybody out there, because that's what's gonna motivate you to keep going to the next stage. I started with family member. From there, I started reaching out to bigger clients. I sent an email to a promotional company in Chicago asking me to let me photograph one of the concerts, and then they responded to me within 2 hours, be like, yes, absolutely. If you went into, you know, give us the picture for pro bono and stuff like that, we will let you photograph the concert. I started photographing concert. The first concert that I photographed, it was Marc Anthony. Me not knowing how to photograph concert, nothing like that, I was just snapping. You know, I probably got one of my best pictures in all my photography career, you know. It was like right when the artist came out the stage, he came out, he looked to the side. I guess I was nervous and excited at the same time. I snapped, and to this day, I said that's the best photo I ever taken, because it was the photo that took me to a next level, you know. Marc Anthony shared the photo have 1 million likes, you know. That was when, like I said, that was when, this is all when social media was picking up, you know. From that day forward, I'm like, man, you know what, I just want to keep reaching higher. I started reaching out to higher clients. What's the next step? What's the next step? Working my way to the next step. I started obviously doing weddings. A lot of people wouldn't do weddings because they're afraid they was getting messed up a wedding. You know, a wedding is not you could redo. You know, a wedding is like you photographing, and then then that's what you're gonna get. But I always went to work with the mentality that it's like, yo, Chris, you're gonna get it right. No matter what is it, it's not about the photography, it's about the creativity, how you get creative with the shot. The type of person that I am, I'm gonna get creative no matter what is it. If I need to climb a tree, if I need to go under the chair, ladder, whatever, I'm gonna get creative. So I always had that attitude that like, yo, whatever is thrown at my face, go in there, face it, and then you're gonna be okay. I mean, as long as you get creative and you know how to photograph and you learn the skill of become a photographer, nothing bad can happen. It's just a simple picture, but that creativity is what tells the story. I wake up every morning knowing that if I don't get out there and work, ain't nobody out there ready to give me success. If I don't get out there and say, Chris, let's execute today, ain't nobody gonna give it to me. You know, there is nobody above me that's gonna drive me to get promoted or be the employee of the month. You know, everything is me. I wake up every morning with first of all, forget waking up. I go to sleep every night thinking about how my morning is gonna be, you know, like, okay, Chris, you need to give yourself 10% in the morning because you need to self-care yourself. So what I'm gonna do, work out, you know, watch a movie, play a video game or something, and then from there, execute, you know. What's gonna happen today that is gonna be different from yesterday? Every day should be a new chance to succeed. If you let one day drag for a whole week, you're losing time. You know, nobody's gonna give me what I want. And to be honest, what I want is to be a successful photographer. I'm not looking to be rich. I don't mind getting rich, obviously, but I'm looking to be able to say, like, I quit my job 6 years ago and I continue being an entrepreneur. You know, I continue to be successful in what I do. And every day I feel that, okay, we need to do better than yesterday. Yesterday is done. Yesterday is past. So what are we gonna do today? You know, every day is not a good day in an entrepreneur. Some day it finished with chaos, you know, it's time to finish work and it couldn't happen. So you have to take over the next day, and now whatever you have planned for the next day have to move to another day. One thing that you do have to say, and I say to myself every morning, is like, today is a new day. Let it go. Whatever happened yesterday, a week ago, whatever, let it go and start the day with a new attitude. It has to be positive, you know. I mean, even though in negative circumstance, you have to stay positive. And that's what I say to myself, like, you know what? No matter what happened, let's go. You know, what can we do to make the day better? The people that influence me, call my mentor, and then start attacking the goals that we have for the future today. So 3 things that will keep me going on my regular day. One, it has to be motivation. You know, I feel that I need to listen to somebody kind of like, you know, inspire me, motivating me. So I look for motivation speakers on YouTube all the time. I put the best music that I like. You know, I'm a big reggaeton fan, so I put some reggaeton, whatever. And I also listen to, you know, online church. You know, I'm a big fan. It's amazing on YouTube. So I just sit there and kind of like listen, see what I need in the inside of me, spiritual motivation to continue to make the day happen, you know. Another thing that I need is social media. I'm a self-employed entrepreneur. I need to deliver a message, you know. I use social media as my resume. Nobody asked me for resume, but they asked me for social media. So I'm very careful what I put on social media. I'm very careful what message I put out there, but that is one tool that I need to continue on the road to success. And the third thing I would say is friends and family. Like, if I would hold all my ideas and everything that I had in mind, I feel that it would just stay there, you know. I have some friends, family, and mentors that I reach out in the weekly basis and kind of like put my idea in the table to them and kind of like help me figure out how I'm gonna go about what my next move is gonna be or my next idea is gonna be. Whatever I feel the inside or whatever idea I have, I need to let it out because, yeah, it's my idea, but I need to be open for criticism, you know, good criticism and bad criticism, you know, because that's what's gonna teach me to do better. I photographed a boxing fight one time, and this photographer told me that my picture was horrible. And I'm like, oh man, thank you. Can you please keep sharing that? You know, he's telling me, your pictures are bad. This is not worth it. And then when he pointed out why the pictures is bad, it makes sense, you know? After that, I went to photograph another fight. It was perfect. I kept in mind what the photographer told me, and the picture was great. I showed the photographer, and he was like, wow, much better, you know? This is what I was talking about. So bad criticism is always good, you know, and we all need that. We always want to know what's right, but people get hurt when they tell them what's wrong. And sometimes what's wrong, it was matter, because if you know what's right, then what you want somebody else to continue telling you what's right. You know, what you want to hear is what's wrong and how can you improve yourself to make it better. You know, when this crisis started, I was one of those persons that took this as like, it's just a joke, whatever, you know, just another virus or whatever. But as it was moving forward, I realized that like, man, this is getting real, you know, and the moment a lot of stuff start getting canceled and closed, I'm like, okay, now this is real, you know. I depend in public events, you know. I mean, I do concerts, I do weddings, events in restaurants, stuff like that. So I was depending in those type of events to continue that year, you know. I felt that 2020 was gonna be for me the year that, boom, they was gonna take it to all the top, you know. I ended up getting a new studio, a second location, you know, and like a Friday, and then a Monday was when all these things got shut down, a lot of stuff getting canceled and stuff like that. So then I started to worry. I'm like, whoa, what's going on here? So then I took like a week off to myself, like whatever, let's see how it dies out in the media. This is all gonna die out. But it would keep increasing and getting worse. So then I said to myself, what am I gonna do to keep going during the time of crisis, you know? Back again, you know, I reached out to my people, my friends, I reached out to mentors. I'm like, what is that we could do now to continue the same level that we was, or to bring more awareness and to bring more audience into the business? And it was hard because everything was just virus. So it was no chance for me to go in there and talk about, book me for your wedding, when everything that was happening, it was just all this virus and stuff like that. And you know, people was dying, you know, so out of respect, we couldn't post anything about, you know, come hire me, I'm available for photos and stuff like that, because people have their mind somewhere else, you know. So what we say to ourselves is like, you know what, this is happening, we cannot continue complaining, you know. So what we're gonna do, let's sit back and let's build a plan, because once it's over, how we gonna come back to the top, you know. So pretty much we sat down and we started building ideas. We started putting everything that we know we could do, put it on the table, and just kind of like wait until that flag start moving so we could take off running, you know. And that's what we did, you know what I mean? And that's what we continue doing, you know. We used the time to regroup and to strategize new ideas. Hopefully when this crisis ends, we will be okay. You know, we will be right where we was at, and we will continue in the road to chasing the dream, which is to be, you know, a successful photography and video studio in Chicago. One of the things that I would look back, and if I had the chance to talk to my own self back then, it's just like, Chris, take this serious, you know. Take it serious because you have a craft, you have an art on you, you are creative. So take it serious right now, because 5 years from now, you're gonna be on top. Now, why I'm telling this to myself now, I should have told that shit to myself 10 years ago. So now, what I want to tell to myself 10 years later, he'd be like, man, you listen to yourself. Look at where you are right now. You accomplished and you achieved everything that you were looking for, you know? And like I say, with me, it's not to become a millionaire. With me, is to be able to say, I did it. I'm an entrepreneur, successful entrepreneur, which I think I am, you know? But the fact that I'm able to take it 10 more years from now and be able to be like, looky how far I made it, that's what I'm looking for. You know, I'm looking to look back to inspire young people 10 years from now to be like, hey, you know what? Photographer is a career. Photographer is a career path that you should choose to, you know? It's not just a class that you take in college just for credit. You know, photographer is actually a career and you can make a future out of it, you know? Look at me, I didn't went to college to be a photographer. I learned the whole crap by myself. And then if I'm able to make it 10 years later from now and be even on top where I'm at right now, that's all I want. You know, I want to be a successful photographer. I want somebody to tell my story, and I want to inspire a lot of people to be like, hey, you know what? Chris Costoso, he made it from nothing to look at right now, one top photographer in the world. And that's the thing. I'm not looking to stay where I'm at. I'm looking to keep climbing. You know, I'm not satisfied in how far I made it. You know, I feel that it's still a lot of room for me out there, and it's a lot of room for a lot of photographers out there. If you have the attitude that you want to make it to the top, trust me, you're gonna make it to the top with 300 photographers next to you or by yourself, because it doesn't matter how many people are out there. You know what I'm saying? I'm the type of guy that I always tell this to anybody that asks me a question. I run like this. You know, if you ever see the horse race, they have the things right here. I don't look to the side. I just keep running forward because I know I have a finish line at the end. You know, nothing else in the side is gonna stop me. So I'm gonna continue running and not look to the side. If they cross the line with me, we celebrate all in the end. But in the end of the day, it's your own race. You know, you're gonna be successful not by what somebody's opinion or whatever. You're gonna be successful about what comes out from your heart and how deep you're gonna go into become successful and become, you know, an entrepreneur or photographer or whatever, you know, whatever you decide to do. I need to prove somebody something, you know. I need to prove to all those people that feel that I'm wasting my time, that no, you don't know what you're doing. They felt that when I was asking for support and they was not supporting me, they felt like, oh, nah, you're just wasting your time, so don't waste my time. I don't want to prove the fact that, look, I make it, but I'm going to prove the fact that, listen, man, if I did it and I came to you and you was negative when I was trying to ask for your support, learn something from it. You know what I'm saying? So yes, I want to prove to everybody out there, because obviously it was a lot of people. You know, it was a lot of people that doubted me. You know, it's a lot of people that thought that I was not gonna make it this far. And to be honest, I didn't know I was gonna make it this far if it was not because every day I would have woke up, be like, okay, Chris, what you gonna do today? What's the next stage? You know, I made it to the Chicago Sun-Times cover page, and that was like, okay, wow, I make it to a newspaper. You look at, I get chills and everything, because I'm like, I was born in Puerto Rico. I show you the picture of the house that I was born. You're like, oh wow, what the hell is this? You know, and then to be, you know, from Puerto Rico coming to Chicago and make it to a cover page, it just, come on now, man. Not everybody get that chance, you know. If it was positive, negative, you know, not negative, it was, you know, because of the crisis, I made it. You know, somebody reached out to me, the fact that I am a photographer and I'm a business owner, and I made it to a newspaper. I said to myself, if a kid from Puerto Rico could come right here and make it to a newspaper, anybody could do anything. You know what I'm saying? You could be a basketball player, you could be a baseball player, you could be a photographer, a videographer, a singer, but you just have to put your work into it, man. Doesn't mean that you know how to sing, you're gonna become famous. You have to do your homework. Where are you gonna go to take your music career to a next level? You know, where are you gonna go to take your photography career to a next level? Are you gonna stay there and the little bit that you learn, or are you gonna take it to a next level? Boom, look, I learned this much, let's take it to a next level. And that's what I always wanted to do. Every day, every time I do a photo shoot, I told my clients, don't look at my past picture, because these pictures are gonna be way better than the past, because every photo shoot for me is like a new photo shoot. I wanna give you a way better product that I gave the client before, you know. And you're talking about now, I'm shooting Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, like crazy, back to back. Where's the room to get creative when you have shoot back to back to back? But you still have to say to yourself, Chris, this is a new client. Forget what you did yesterday, execute today. Bring the creativity. Don't lose the love in what you do. The moment you know, it's just like you know, I was working in a restaurant yesterday, and the owner is so excited, but all the cooks, everybody are pissed, mad, because they have to go to work. But the owner of the restaurant is excited because it's another day he's able to prove himself to reach his goal, right? But if all those other cooks would have had the same attitude, later on in life, they will own their own restaurant too. You know what I'm saying? Doesn't mean that you're not working for yourself, that you're not gonna have that attitude. But you're working with somebody or whatever, use the best of yourself to take it to a next level. It doesn't mean that if he tell you to sweep the floor, you're just gonna sweep the floor. No, shine that floor. Take it to a next level. You know what I'm saying? Because sweeping the floor is what he told you. What you're gonna do to take it to a next level. Shine it, leave it nice and shiny. You know, one of the advice that I give a lot of people, you know, they wanna do something in life, is that build a plan. Get as much information you can. When you're ready to make this happen, don't go in halfway. You started, now you're not gonna finish until you're completely done. You know, you cannot just say, oh, I want a photo shoot because I'm gonna open this company or whatever. No, but what you gonna do with that? Learn about everything that has to do with the business or whatever you're trying to do and go in full force. Don't let nobody else tell you, oh, no, you can't do that, or now you crazy or whatever. Don't listen to the people because they've never done something that you're trying to do. So they don't want to see you succeed. You know, go by what your inside is telling you. If you want to be whatever you want it to be, man, the moment you do your homework and you got all the information that you need, you cannot go with it just saying, feeling that in the first 2 years, you're gonna be where you're trying to be. No, it's gonna take years. It's gonna take sweat, determination, hard work. In the end of the day, if you don't put in the work, it's hard. If I don't put in the work to be as great photographer, to be successful, it's not gonna go nowhere. So every day I have to think about what I'm gonna do besides the clients that I already work with to take my career to a next level. And it's hard. It has to do with hard work. Hard work will pay off, but the only way the hard work will pay off if you really work hard. Don't listen to other people telling you, no, hard work pays off. Yeah, well, make that hard work happen. You know what I'm saying? It's not gonna happen if you are home eating cookies and watching TV. Make it happen. Go out there, learn. Go reach out to something that you feel that you cannot get, and you will be surprised the moment that door opens for you.